Zoom, we're live, and let me go live here. And we are good. I always do this, and every time I start, I always, for the sake of vanity, I will always go ahead and there, now we're going. You can stream it on Facebook. So I always do this, whenever I start these off, I'm always like trying to figure out, okay, is this thing live or not? And there's been times I've talked to people that we've been live for like 30 to 45 seconds of just blather. And we're actually, it's like, no, Jeff, you're live, Jeff. So let me go into Lab Coat Agents.
All right.
And just to double check that we're on there, because that's the stream I will follow to make sure that if folks have questions, we answer them, because a lot of realtors want to know more about you and your greatness and your proficiency for real estate here in Las Vegas. So here we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Jeff Fargo. I'm a moderator with Lab Coat Agent. And also I have the distinct pleasure of, I work with North American Title here in Southern Nevada. And a lot of people look to Las Vegas to kind of see what's going on, to set the pulse for the real estate market nationally, because we're such a transient community. We have a lot going on here. So I like to hop on here as often as possible. And I'm doing weekly Rockstars of Las Vegas real estate. So that being said, this week's guest is a mega agent, as I would say, here in Las Vegas. An old friend of mine who's been around and has been through the cycles and has been through the gut punches and has really seen the ebbs and flows of the market. And we're open to take your questions, but we have Leslie Stewart of Signature Real Estate Group with us. Hi, Leslie.
Hello, thanks so much
like
for
a
hosting me today.
Yay, Leslie. And Leslie, and we are, full disclosure, we are great friends and families are friends. And Leslie, you know, when I was a struggling little rep at another title company, took pity on me and said, all right, kid, I'll throw you a deal. And that was 5 years ago. And next thing you know, a friendship has blossomed and business has grown. And so here we are.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool how things kind of organically grow. And you know, the best part of Lab Coat Agents is it's like the good side of the force, and the good side of real estate is what Tristan preaches, all of us moderators, and you're a member of that, and you know, a big fan of the good side of real estate. And so you know, the best thing, I guess, to let everybody know, you know, more about you is just let you tell me more about yourself and how'd you get into real estate? What's wrong with you? Like,
well,
I'm not therapy or
right, exactly.
Holy moly, Leslie.
Glutton for punishment. So,
right.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm native to Las Vegas, and I actually was the last graduating class from the original campus of the Las Vegas High School downtown.
Wow.
And I stayed in town and went to school at UNLV, and I decided I wanted to follow in my father's footsteps. I'm a second generation agent, and I took classes at UNLV, and I have a degree in real estate from the university. And so that's definitely one thing that's a little bit unique. A lot of people, usually this is a second career for them, and don't end up having actually a degree. So I like that factor, and I definitely learned some great pearls of wisdom that have influenced me in being able to create some value for my clients from those classes way back when. So
3 years ago.
What was that? Yeah, exactly.
I said like 2 years ago.
For sure.
Very,
for sure.
just fresh out of college. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I mean, and for those of you that are tuning in, you know, and people think of the Strip when they think of Las Vegas, and you know, there are many different little micro communities, you know, here in Southern Nevada. Is there a specific location that you've kind of gravitated towards in your history here as a realtor?
Yes, definitely. So our valley is about 25 to 30-ish miles from kind of point to point. So most agents usually are in the capacity to be able to service the entire valley. but definitely my specific niche, I guess, is going to be the Henderson community, which is an adjoining suburb of Las Vegas. And it actually was recently ranked the #2 safest large city in by Advisor Smith about a month ago. So that's a great distinction for our community, and really kind of focus on, as I'm a product of the Clark County School District, knowing those strong schools are really important to families. Those are the areas that I usually kind of lend myself to the most, and that's really where a lot of my clientele is.
That's huge because, and for those of you that don't know, our school system sucks. I'm putting it out there, and Leslie's way too nice to say it, but I will. If you look up Clark County, Southern Nevada School District, we are not like even in the top 40. And so to have somebody that knows the schools, like, I moved here with my wife and kids from St. George, Utah 8 years ago. And the first thing she looked at was online at the schools. And we moved somewhere where the feeder schools go into Coronado, is a really good public school. So that's huge, to have that kind of knowledge. When you're working with buyers, how often does that come up? Schools?
A majority of the time. That's really kind of the focus that I have, are these 3,000-ish square foot homes that are 4-ish bedrooms, and they usually have families that have school-age children. So really being able to be that source to help guide them make the best decisions for their family, and what they're looking for. And every school is a little different in the sense of different opportunities that the district does offer with the magnet schools. You want to do aerospace, or if you are really strong in football, maybe it's a different area that you might want to be looking at, so you're zoned appropriately to be able to take advantage of some of those opportunities. Or a strong student that's really strong in performing arts, so everybody has every family's a little different. And so that's where I like to be able to kind of dig deep with my clients and see where do they really need and want to spend their time and see themselves living, so we can make it a win for the long term for them.
I love it. And so how long have you been in the real estate business total?
So I majored in real estate in UNLV in '97. And then I interned for a while at a commercial mortgage company. And then I ended up having a family and children, and they came fast and furious and two by two because I have twins. And so then once my children started to go back to school full time, I thought, great, I'm going to go get my real estate license. This will be fabulous. There's so much flexibility in real estate.
Oh, yeah.
Little did I know, but definitely has provided great opportunities for my family as well. And so I came into the market in 2010. And so definitely a super different market. There were barely any equity sales. They were all distressed sales.
Yeah.
But one thing that I guess is pretty similar to our market now is that there's just a lot of uncertainties. And so this is kind of an interesting time to, see and measure and look towards what's happening in the future.
Let's talk about that for a second, because that's probably something that you touch on a lot. But what's your, in terms of the current real estate market, from what you're seeing, and you said that you focus a lot on Henderson, which is we said it's a city literally right next to Las Vegas, connected right to us like kissing cousins. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing right now? Because you represent buyers and sellers on the same end. From your vantage point, what are you seeing right now?
Well, yesterday, the Las Vegas Realtors actually came out with their market update. And so that's something that active agents, we always are kind of keeping an eye on, so we know what the trends are. And so yesterday's reports noted that our median price point went up another $5,000. So we went from $325 to $330, which is our highest median price ever.
Crazy.
And so despite it being in a pandemic, and also our inventory, 1.4 months supply. Healthy market is 6 months. So that's like a balanced market, they say. And so we're super low. This is inventory levels that we were seeing in January and February. So indications, it's only like moving stronger based on those ideas. You know, and for buyers, historically low interest rates. I mean, these interest rates are so low, they're lower than interest rates than your parents have seen purchasing a home, than your grandparents have seen. You know, homes, we're doing loans now at like 2.89, 2.95, you know, just historical purchasing power that the buyers have. But at the same point, the sellers, if there's a time to sell, this is the time to sell, because inventory is so low and those buyers have that purchasing power. As long as they're, you know, an essential employee and still working, you know, strong income, they're in a great opportunity, and we're seeing multiple offers and above list. People are waiving appraisals as well. So if you've even thought about cashing out, moving to a different market, this is your opportunity. Because I know when I first came in to the market and I was making phone calls, and you talk to those people in 2010, 11, and they'd say, oh, well, you know, in 2006, my house was worth, and unless you cashed out of it, it's not. That's nice. Not money in the bank.
Yeah, thank you. Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. It's because, you know, a lot of people, you know, obviously they get their information from the press, and, you know, with the strip either being closed or kind of closed, and COVID's up, COVID's down. For any that are, you know, that have people, whether you're in market here, or especially if you're out of market and you have people looking to move here, you want to be talking to people like Leslie, because you need somebody with boots on the ground that knows, like, by street what's going on. Personally, I'm not a big fan of looking at like appreciation rates by zip code, because you've got little micro communities within that zip code that are probably higher or lower than the stated number for the zip code. And I know that's something that you're really good at with data, that you bend over backwards, you know, to provide that kind of information for your clientele.
Well, and you have to be, especially in this market, it's so competitive. And you do. I mean, there's like certain little pockets that are little gated communities, and they're little, you know, fabulous, cutesy little homes. And those homes will sell $10, $20, $30,000 higher than the comp that's outside of that neighborhood, but same square footage, same bedroom count, same lot size. And so, you know, you can't just take something on the MLS. You really need to be connected to those communities to be able to create those wins.
I love it. So what, you know, you're out there every day fighting the fight as a realtor. You know, what are the top challenges that you face on a daily basis as a realtor here in Las Vegas and Henderson?
Well, definitely lots of challenges for sure, but I'm going to turn it and spin it a little bit, and I want to share one of my wins that I had for one of my clients. And so, because I think for some agents that would definitely be a challenge, but I love to be able to create that win for my clients. So I received a referral from California, and this family was relocating from LA to be able to have that opportunity of home ownership. Couldn't do it in the area that they were at. And so also having the low cost of living and, you know, lower taxes were a big driver for them to be able to move out of LA and come to Las Vegas. And actually 4 out of the 5 markets that feed into Las Vegas are from California. That's LA County, Orange County, San Diego County, and Santa Clara County. So that's a huge amount of money that we are seeing coming in from the California market. But these clients came in, and you know, their real familiarity with Las Vegas was really the Strip. And so we kind of created a strategic plan to figure out their areas that's going to best suit their needs and what they wanted. You know, they wanted to get a dog and yard and pool. So they had a great list. And so we just had to like collaborate together, which is great, especially now you've got all the virtual access. And it's great to be able to get together on a Zoom meeting and go through your search criteria together and just nail down exactly what you want for your clients. And so we found a great home, and it's a 1-story home, and it was refurbished and turnkey, and they were thrilled. And as we went to go, you know, move forward and write that offer, of course, you know, we knew they had offers in hand. There were only 7. And so I've worked with that agent in the past before. So there's a definitely art to be able to have some conversation with the agent on the other side to be able to create the win for both clients. And so our offer was accepted towards the end of June, and they were swimming in their pool for the 4th of July, and we're looking
Great.
at dogs. So
That's awesome.
That's the win right there, is that knowing that where they were at before, it was never going to be an opportunity to create that American dream. And here now they had that opportunity of home ownership, and to be able to be a part of that is just, that's a big win.
I love it. I love it. Good for you. Good for you. So you were to put your Swami hat on, and we gave you a crystal ball, which is what every single person out in the real world that's not a realtor thinks realtors can do. Where do you see exactly? What do you see happening with, I would just say like the rest of this year, I won't even the next year because no one has an idea, but from what you're seeing right now and into the holidays and all that, do you have any thoughts on, the future of the market here for Southern Nevada?
Right. Well, I think that is honestly like the question of the year, like that forecasting and getting your, like Karnak on. But I think more than anything, probably the biggest lesson that we've all learned from 2020 is we need to be super aware of shifts that happen in the market instantaneously. And we have to know as agents how to pivot and maneuver and take advantage of the knowns that we have in our market. And so according to Keeping Current Matters, I know a lot of us agents utilize those resources, but overall as a nation, they also forecast that the market's going to be really strong. And so, obviously our market is a little different because we definitely have seen some different challenges, but I think housing is still like the gem in our Las Vegas economy because there's a lot of turmoil and the housing market is amazingly strong. And at this point, I don't necessarily see any indicators that that's, gonna relinquish any. I know that there's still a lot of government assistance that's helping those with, maybe a forbearance and renters situation. So that's not gonna affect us like within, I think, the rest of the year. I mean, those are keep getting pushed out and pushed out. So towards the end of 2020, I think we're still going to be seeing a very similar market. And I think one thing like beyond 2020 is knowing that according to CoreLogic, and this is one of my most interesting stats I think that I've seen since COVID hit, is that 42% of homeowners actually own their home free and clear. And then 60% of those plus homeowners have over 60% equity. So even if there is a shift and things kind of pull back, people are probably going to still have a lot of equity in their home. And I don't know if foreclosure or short sale is going to warrant it. If you've got equity in your home, you'll sell and you'll relocate maybe to a different market. But I don't anticipate, at least right now, seeing any like major, the sky is falling, situation. So honestly, those buyers who are waiting for that, I don't see it coming in 2020 or, anytime soon in that aspect of things. Take advantage of these low market interest rates because, that will probably go up further than, those forbearance and foreclosures that people are thinking about.
Well, under 3% money is bananas. Let's just face it. That's insane.
Crazy.
And I mean, anybody that if you're sitting on the sidelines, if you're a normal person watching this show and not a realtor, if you're waiting to buy and you're waiting for rates to go lower, you're an idiot because it's not going to get any better than it is right now. And that just is what it is. That's just how it is. So, all right, now the fun part, my friend. If Leslie today in 2020 could speak with the 18-year-old Leslie, what advice would she give her?
Oh, there's just a plethora, I'm sure, that we could improve upon, right, or enhance. But realistically, I think like life-wise, career-wise, family-wise, definitely making sure that you surround yourself with those people that are going to encourage you and push you to your limits in a good way. And I think I've recognized that really those people and relationships in our lives are those people that actually like open the door to a better future for you. And so, you know, really being cognizant and aware of who you let in or out of your life.
Oh my gosh. If we all would have known that back when we were younger, but listen and listened, it would have been like, oh.
Yeah, because you know, when you're 18, because I've got like some 18-year-old children that are very knowledgeable. So I understand.
Oh yeah. They know so much more than us. It's crazy. And so,
we do.
you know,
so it's fine.
Yeah. And then my last question is something I blatantly steal from, there used to be a show on PBS called The Actors Studio. And the host was James Lipton. And he would interview celebrities. And he had a question, and I loved it. And I ask it to everybody. And that is, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word? Let's see. Well, I'm going to go with infinite, because that was one thing, even as I was designing my logo for real estate. And I really do believe at the Stewart team that our position is to create infinite value for our clients and to create that experience with them, you know, not just in real estate, but beyond. So I really like to be that thinking bigger as far as that infinite worth.
It's awesome. I love it. Good stuff, my friend. If anyone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way for somebody to contact you?
You are more than welcome to go ahead, and you can text me, you can email me, you can reach out on the website, Instagram, Facebook. Pivoting, you're like virtual, you're everywhere, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully pretty prevalent. So whatever works for you, works for me.
I love it. Continued success, my friend. You're amazing, and thanks for carving some time out of your day for us.
For sure. Thanks so much for having me at LabCo Agents. We definitely appreciate it.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.